really near and dear to my heart. And I'm just here to let the community know what's going on and what we think's been going on with the funding that was intended to help the community of Tallevast. For the most part, we're going to talk about the Lockheed Martin lawsuit that was awarded to the Focus. And the Focus was awarded approximately $2.8 million. And as of 2022, they had about $737,000 left in total assets since they got that lump sum of money. Now, a lot of you have been in Tallevast your whole life. You own homes, and you've seen what the Focus has done or lack thereof in this community with the funds. So we're here to talk to you guys to get a general idea to see how active they've been in the group. We know that it's been hard for them to provide documentation for the spending, but as a 501c organization, a tax-exempt organization, you are required by law to have these documentations. You are required by law to hold meetings and get approvals for every single thing when you are a 501c nonprofit organization. So these documents that we are requesting, they should be easily to go and pull up, but we have ran into a brick wall. So I've come here to present a couple of different avenues that we can pursue. And I have some guests here that are going to help us ensure that the community of Tallevast gets back on track and that we demand the accountability that we need. Now, good evening to everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you all for being here at Bryan's Chapel. I would like to thank Bryan's Chapel for allowing us to hold this meeting here. I would like to thank everybody for coming out to join us to see what's going on. And I would like to thank our commissioners in the running race for being here and being proactive. I made a post in the group, and like within 2 hours, Mr. Glen reached out to me, eager and willing to help me with this situation. And y'all know I've been on Facebook this past week screaming and yelling at the top of my lungs, but he was so active in helping me address this situation. Now, we are gathered here today because we all share a deep love for Tallevast. We believe in the strength of our community, the importance of our history, and the vital role our community plays in our daily lives. I have called this meeting because there are serious concerns regarding the financial management of Focus and the stewardship of the community's funds. When an organization holds funds that were intended to benefit Tallevast, they have a legal and moral obligation to be transparent, accountable, and responsible. As a 501c nonprofit, Focus is governed by federal rules that require them to report the financial management and the stewardship of our community funds. When an organization holds funds that were intended to benefit Tallevast, they have a legal and moral obligation to be transparent. We are here tonight because we believe those standards of transparency and financial duty have not been met. We are not here to tear anybody down. We are here to ensure our community voice is heard and that the resources that belong to the people of Tallevast are being protected and managed correctly. We are here because of a simple fundamental principle. When an organization is granted tax-exempt status, they are making a promise to the public. They are promising to act as a steward of resources that belong to the community missions and not to one individual. I want to share a timeline of facts that brought us to this meeting tonight. In 2012, records indicated that the Focus held approximately $2.8 million in assets. These were not just numbers on a page. These were represented many years of the community investment, donations, and resources intended to build and sustain our Tallevast community. Over the years, these assets should have been protected, managed, and utilized to enhance our community and keep our community thriving. But today, we are here to ask for transparency. We are asking to understand where those assets have gone, why our community center is facing the challenges that is faced today, and how were these funds authorized for spending. In the nonprofit world, there is a legal requirement called fiduciary duty. It means those in charge have a legal responsibility to act with the highest level of care, loyalty, and obedience to the organization's mission. They must protect these assets as if they are holding them in a trust for you. But we see a significant shift in the assets without clear, transparent reporting. And it raises serious questions about whether those duties were met or not. We are not here to guess or speculate. We are here to ask for the facts. We are asking for the open books, the financial statements, and the transparency that the law requires. We believe that by working together and demanding accountability, we can restore the original promise of these funds and ensure that the Tallevast Community Center remains the heartbeat of our neighborhood for more years to come. Thank you guys for your commitment to this matter. And the Focus has admitted in their financial disclosures from drawing from this particular fund. Now, when Lockheed Martin awarded the Focus this fund, it was intended to last the community of Tallevast for 50 years. So 2050 is how long these funds were supposed to last. And the funds we haven't been able to get a recent 990 form, but in 2022, it was $734,000. So the Focus has been paying themselves probably over the last 14 years, over $2 million in I don't have my paper. But they were paying the overhead costs, they were paying the salaries, and they were paying, it was the overhead costs, the salaries, and another expense for the Focus. So you guys live out here in community, so you should see those funds being spent. The original intent of the lawsuit funds were for community activities, environmental testing, and just making sure that Lockheed Martin stayed on top of the cleanup out here for the next 50 years. And unfortunately, the Focus group have been paying themselves a crazy salary each month, drawing from this particular fund that's supposed to last us 60 years, and the assets have dwindled down to, we don't know what it is today, but we know 6 years ago it was $734,000 from $2.8 million. So we just want to ask for transparency. We want to see the documentation, because as a 501c organization, can you pass these around? They have a legal obligation to report these things, and it shouldn't take so much with requesting documentation. Okay.
So do we have to request that, or is that automatic? Should they do that like quarterly, annually, semi-annually?
They should be able to provide documentation whenever you request it for public inspection. They don't have an office for us to publicly request these documentations, but they are legally operating as a 501c, so they have a listed address right down here where Tony Warehouse is, but I don't think anybody is
nobody
there.
occupied.
Nobody's there, so you can't go there and request the documentation because that's just something that they done put on the paper, okay? And other than that, I want to say that we are honored to have Mr. Glen, I'm gonna mess it up. Gibellina. Gibellina, Mr. Glen Gibellina. He is a candidate for District 4 Manatee County Commissioners. He's here to listen to us tonight, to hear all of our concerns, and to get an understanding of the issues that's going to be facing his potential district, which is Tallevast. So he's running against Mike, and we want to get out and we want to make sure we support Mr. Glen, and he's going to have an opportunity to come up here in just a minute to tell you the plans and stuff like that. So we talked about the facts of the money train and how we haven't been able to get the documentation that we have requested from the focus. So now we're going to open up for community questions. If anybody has any questions you want to ask me, let me know.
Okay, so he's not officially in office yet.
Not yet. No,
running.
Not yet. Potentially.
I just got qualified.
He just got qualified.
Both of you guys
He's
are running.
District 1, I'm District 4.
Two.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm 2.
Okay.
So he's Palmetto, I'm Tallevast.
Okay, Miss Michelle.
Okay.
How are the focus group getting the salary every month, yearly? What are they doing for the community? Why are they getting paid?
I believe personally that the focus has used the money to enrich themselves and have neglected the community of Tallevast. So being a 501c organization, there is a process technically that you're supposed to go through to approve salaries, to approve expenses, to approve overboard stuff, but we don't have any proof that these meetings were being held, or we don't know who was approving these salaries. And even in that instant, they couldn't vote on their own salary because of conflict of interest. So it would be a lot of steps for the focus to go through if they were doing it the right way to actually get those approvals for salary. But I have my speculations that they all approved their own salary on their own.
I have a quick question.
Yes, sir.
When was this money awarded from? What year?
2010
2010.
is when we had our lawsuit out here with Lockheed Martin, and according to some documents, the Lockheed deferred on the payment, so that's why we were awarded the $2.8 million. Okay. And so, like, that $2.8 million was intended to last us 50 years.
So from 2010,
yeah,
they're supposed to go 50, so 2060.
Right, yeah, 2060,
and
technically.
It's only $700,000 left.
Yeah, technically $734,000 is supposed to last till 2060.
Was that the first time that we got the money? Because I thought it was earlier.
Well,
remember?
Lockheed they got their settlement after we got our settlement, yes.
Yeah.
So
we got a little change.
A little change, right.
Before 2000.
Yeah, right.
Because I was up in Illinois.
Yeah, you got a little something.
And I got a little.
Yeah. Yeah, we ain't even gonna talk about the lawsuit.
I think they got a lump sum in too.
Everybody got a lump sum of money. You know, everybody in the community got a lump sum of
So
money.
they gave the $2.8 million all at once, kind of.
Yeah,
and then,
specifically to the focus group.
And then they dwindled that down.
Yeah, they dwindled it down to we don't have. I don't know.
They
Yeah.
said 2.1 million.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So my question is, why did this side of the tracks not get county sewer and water? Why did they stop here and not finish up?
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because there was a budget for the sewer out here, but the current
The
commissioner
whole community should have been taken
redirected the
care of
fund. Mr.
once.
Glenn is gonna talk about that more too when he comes up here. Are there any more questions about what's going on? Yes, sir.
Yeah, what does United Way have to do with it?
United Way, I don't know if Focus got any funding from the United Way. I'm pretty sure the Tallevast Community Center got some funding from the United Way, and I believe that the focus and the community center is somehow tied within each other. That's just one of my speculations. So,
So that would be-
Yeah, because that funding should have took care of our community center
right, the community
that
center
we
has
started,
yeah.
that I started
Yeah.
as a kid.
Right.
Selling aluminum cans,
Yep. It's
selling
sad.
candy.
It's sad what happened to the community center.
Okay, and this center has been sitting idle.
For 9 years.
Is it 9? I was gonna
9
say
years,
15.
almost a
I don't
decade.
know. I
Almost
left
a
here
decade.
20 some years ago,
Yeah.
and it was open back then.
Yeah.
The kids were still being entertained out there. But I come home thinking my grandkids was gonna be able to enjoy this the way I did as a kid.
It's sad.
Okay,
What-
and
You got a question back there, Mr. Hughes?
Hey.
No, I was just looking. No, I was.
because your people donated.
Yeah, I was thinking about the same thing. That he
Yeah,
was talking
your
about.
people donated land.
They done took the use center, they closed the use center and all that.
Yeah.
Stuff, so
Your family
How
donated
can we
land.
get that back open?
Okay, I'm gonna touch on the youth center really quick before Mr. Gibellina. How you say it, Jordan?
Chip.
Just say Mr. G.
Mr. G. Yeah,
I just said
I want Mr. G. Before Mr. G come up here. So, y'all know I went down to the county and they cut the funding for the community center. There was discrepancies in the salaries that they were paying themselves, and they cut the funding. So technically, the communities, well, y'all know that the community center has been shut down since they cut the funding. Now, some new information that I have found out is that the taxes are still being paid at the community center, even though it's not in operation, which is a case for fraud. So now the 501c has been dissolved for the Tallevast Community Center. So technically, she has no legal governing over that center right now. So we just have to figure out what would be our next steps into getting the keys back and letting us go back in there. But it's a legal process. Like, we can't just go out there and get the keys back. It has to be a legal process that we have to follow.
Okay, you say that the taxes still being paid.
Uh-huh.
Who's paying the taxes? I mean,
Melissa's still paying the taxes every year.
As
The one that stole it.
or for
Yeah.
personal use?
We believe it's for her personal use because it's been closed.
I mean,
Is she paying for the Center for Success?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's paying it for her 501c organization. So now it's a good thing that the 501c has been dissolved, because legally she has no governance over the community center. That's something new that I find out. So we're gonna go and try to get our community center back as well. The forms that we have to actually report the focus to the IRS and the Attorney General can also be used to report the Centers for Success. So basically, my plan of action is getting everybody involved and to fill out these paperwork so the IRS and the Attorney General can start a formal investigation.
Okay, who
That
the
sounds
focus group? What is it comprised of? Who? Because I think I know two people, which probably is Laura and Wanda. Are we allowed to
Another
use
thing
names?
with the
Because,
focus
hold on.
group,
Now, are we allowed to say names first of all? Because I've seen where there's
Yeah, you can say names, yeah.
some kind of cease and desist.
Yeah, they did send me a cease and desist letter. Yeah,
Okay,
they did.
so-
They cut me
So,
Yeah.
I'm like, why? This is freedom of speech.
Right.
We can't debate this. We can't talk about this concerning
Yeah,
us.
well, technically, on the Sunbiz, on the official report for the focus, Billy Ward is listed, Marvin Washington is listed, and Mike Darville is listed on the official Sunbiz. Now, we know who's listed on the website is Wanda and Laura.
That's all I
And a
knew.
couple of people that, they just threw some people up there. So those are the main two people that are operating the focus. So,
And they getting checks.
yeah, everybody's getting a check, most definitely. Any more questions for me?
Even Mike.
I don't
Oh,
know
you're
the
not sure about
specifics. But once we get the
Oh.
investigation started, we will be able to see who was getting paid what. So that's why we want to get everybody on this paperwork, and we're going to have Mr. G come up and talk to us a little more about his plans, and I just have one question for you, Mr. G.
Yo,
Okay. As a candidate for District 4, we want to know, if elected, what mechanism will you support to ensure that local nonprofits receiving or holding funds are held to a strict standard of financial transparency? So let's welcome Mr. Glen. Community center and what he's bringing to the table.
so, couple things. I'm gonna do a little housekeeping first, is that on the election that's coming up, I look at finances for the candidates to see if they have any special interest. So Mike Ron has $54,000 in his kitty for this district. Anything over $1,000 is a special interest. You see, everything in the yellow is $1,000. You can go on the website with the supervisor of election. Most of his donations are special interest from developers and builders and accountants. So there's no grassroots money in here, really. Oh, George Cruz, our at-large commissioner, gave him $100, so you know what side he's on. So there is no Democratic Party that's running against in District 4. So what that means is that if, in August, it's over. If I don't have the votes, you're gonna get the 4 years of the same old that you've had so far. Nothing will get done. And what they did is they closed the primary. They had someone come in and be a write-in candidate, right? So that closed off the primary just to Republicans. If that gal wouldn't have been a write-in, she doesn't live in the district, doesn't have any money, doesn't have to move here, but she closed it. If she didn't do that, all you people could vote for either Mike or myself, and I think I know which direction that this group would go. So the only way we can do that, and it's work, but you can go to the supervisor of election, and I'll leave some of these here. I've made a couple of forms. You have to do this by July 1st. So you go in there, or you go online and say, I want to change my NPO or my Democratic status to Republican for this one date, right? So you change it on the 18th, you vote for me. On the 19th, you go back there and say, I want to go back as a Democrat or an NPO. So it's a short-term, one-day commitment to get me in the office. And that's the only way I'm gonna win, because right now, all you people are locked out. So I'm gonna leave this with
So what you're saying is, we wouldn't have a vote at all right now.
right, you can't,
Right.
no, you're done.
We wouldn't have a vote. We have no say whatsoever.
You got the primary for the other at-large commissioners and
Yeah,
all that.
but not when it comes.
Right, so you guys are done.
It's a dirty
That's-
lockout.
It is a dirty
Lock you
lockout.
guys out.
That's exactly what it was. And they did that in District 1 as well.
Yeah, it's gross.
Because we have another candidate there that's very grassroots strong. So it's a dirty deal they did. We have to play within. I've talked to a supervisor of elections. They don't have to live in the district. They don't have to pay the $7,000 entry fee. They don't have to get any petitions. They just need to show up and say, I want to lock all the NPOs and Democrats out of Glen's campaign. And that's what she did. It's really, it's legal, unfortunately, because you know they're not going to win, right? They're not going to move here.
Right.
They're just doing it to keep you people out, and that's wrong. So that's my housekeeping on that. On the other thing is, I want to talk about, well, let's talk about Tallevast. Let's talk about the community center. I've been here 40 years. I live just on the other side of the tracks. I bought my house when there was a dirt road. I still have no sidewalks, sewer, or streetlights. So I know where the people are coming from.
That's where we grew up.
That's right. My daughter went to Canaan 20 years ago. I brought her to that community center. In fact, Canaan had a bus service. Dropped my daughter off. You guys were great. I'd come in there and volunteer. I've been in this community a long time. She went there 2 or 3 years, and I think at that time, as a single dad, it was like $25 a week. It was nothing. It was really, really inexpensive for me. So I have a lot of respect for that community center. So I call this the travesty on Tallevast, right? Because it is a travesty. So I went back over the 9 years. They have been paying $5,147 for 9 years for a vacant building that nobody can use out of the funds that they misappropriated. That is not right, right? And let me see who, so the checks were written on Success for Success by Morris Elton Robinson and Melissa L. Robinson. That's for the tax records. I don't know if you know who they are.
Yeah, we
And they
know
live
that.
right out in the community. We know,
So-
yeah, we know exactly.
So there's the ones on that.
Okay.
The other thing is, I'm not an attorney, I'm not giving legal advice, but I'm big on a paper trail. Records request, a very, very powerful tool. I'll leave some samples here to sample how you do a records request. I use them all the time. I've been going to county meetings for 18 years, speaking at the podium. So I know what I'm doing. This is a very powerful tool. I'm big on a paper trail. You say, well, the house, nobody lives in that the house. Go down there, $6, send a certified letter, return receipt requested, let it kick back to you. Now you've got a paper trail.
Right.
That corporation's not even taking mail.
Right.
Now you got some teeth to call up Tallahassee about the corporation, say, there's nowhere we can serve these people, which is the violation of the Florida statutes. So you have to start a paper trail if you want any results. You have to put pressure on them that way. The other thing I would do, and the county is very lax about this, the county used to own that building, right?
Yeah.
What they should have done, and what I'm a big proponent of, because I've been sitting 3 terms on the Affordable Housing Board, so I know about land use restricted agreements. They're called LORAs, right? What the county should have done, and they don't do it, and they're not doing it today, except on a few projects, is that, okay, we're not gonna turn this over legally in your name, right? That was their first #1 mistake. And when I'm elected, that will change. The county will take the building back, right? And they own it now, so this is gonna be a real uphill battle to get this done. But it can be done, I guarantee you, because I think there's some real misrepresentation, loosey-goosey accounting, which, if the AG gets involved, they've got some teeth, they can put a lot of pressure on. But it has to start with a paper trail. And I would say, you're gonna sign this land use agreement, and here are the things we need. It's not so much the money, it's that it's been closed for 9 years.
9 years, right.
Helping no one in this community, right? That's the travesty of this. The money's a separate issue, and there should be consequences for that. But the benefit to the community, you've been cheated out of for 9 years. That's what bothers me the most, right? So if there was a land use restricted agreement in place, we own the land, right? Because we're tax exempt anyway, so they wouldn't have to be spending $5,000
Oh, wow.
a year in taxes, right? And they wouldn't if they were operating
The way it's
the
supposed
way it should be.
Right.
The 5,000 would be waived.
to. Right.
So they blew another 45,000 on taxes they didn't have to, that they could have been putting into programs.
Yep.
That's everything is backwards on this deal. So I would insist on a land use agreement, say, here's what and I think the county was giving you some funds back then, right?
Yeah, the county was
$70,000
giving
bucks?
about $90,000 a year.
I would go back to the same 90 grand or more because of inflation
Yeah.
and say, we'll give you this money under this land use restricted agreement. You have to operate 5 days a week, you have to provide these services, children's programs, whatever the county and that nonprofit comes up with, you have to do it.
Right.
And we're gonna review you every year to see where that 90 grand is going, plus your other grant money, right? If you fail to do that, then we're gonna take that privilege away from you and give it to another nonprofit
Right.
that can run it successfully.
Right.
We just took over the Rabonia Center, now it's run by the Boys and Girls Club, right?
Right.
So they got professional organizations out there that if they're not doing their job,
They'll come in.
they gotta come in and because you cannot cheat the community out of the benefits that were originally promised.
Right.
And for 9 years, it's crazy.
Right.
So that's what I would do. I would put it in writing, so we hear so many times at the dais, that's a good nonprofit, they've been around a while. And there's no, there's no commitment or recourse if it goes south. This went south very bad. I mean, we should have bit this after the first year was closed,
years ago.
right?
Yeah.
Water under the bridge. It's only gonna make your case stronger right now, because they're going, what have you been doing for 9 years, other than paying
Yeah,
the
what's
taxes,
going
right?
on, right?
So that fiduciary responsibility has gone south.
Right.
Expensive salaries, paying real estate tax when they shouldn't, because they're not providing the services they should. So that's what I would do. I would make sure that there was a land use restricted agreement, hold both parties accountable, and make sure that everything is running as it should, and have feedback from the people that bring their kids there, or whatever services. I think they were running a church out of there at one time, right?
We don't know what she was running out of there. You know, I think her original intention was to be a daycare center.
Right.
That's why she had it all blacked off at one point, because she was trying to do that. But once we went to the county, we kind of disrupted all of her future plans and stuff like that. So we don't know what she hasn't spoken to us or said anything to us
In
in 9 years.
in
Yeah, in
9
9 years. So absolutely nothing from the board or
And I'm
chair.
redundant, you know, if you go back on YouTube for the county commission, and you'll see me there at the podium. I've been at this a long time, and I am redundant. I write a letter, I put it on the agenda. I send it to each commissioner. I show up at the day of the agenda item. I put it on the overhead. I talk about it, and I hand it in to a record, a public record. 5 times, nobody can come back to me and say, well, I didn't get the email. Well, right, so you give them zero wiggle room that they can say, well, I didn't know about it. That's why this paper trail and having those forms come back undeliverable, that's a powerful tool. You should be doing that. And that's gonna show a pattern of not even holding their office available for records requests,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That I think is a violation of statute. Again, I'm not an attorney, I'm not talking any legal advice, I'm just saying, what are some of the options that are out there? Any questions on what I would do for you guys?
Well, the main thing I have about this, even if we were able to obtain possession back of this building, what kind of support are we gonna get to rebuild this building and get it back up to safety quality? Because no maintenance, no nothing for 9 years, uninhabitable right now. We couldn't put kids out there
Well,
because people will die out there from something.
Well, I also go way back with Rabonia. I go to 26 different churches a year. I love the small community churches. When the school board gave the community center to Rabonia, or to the county, it needed a lot of work. That building was falling down, right? So we made the school board give us like 150 grand to go in there and bring it up to code, right?
We're gonna need that.
And we have no problem doing that because it's a benefit to the community,
Yeah.
right? And if there's any money left over, we should send them to them.
Right. We hope that, they'll be responsible for these funds eventually, but that's where the Attorney General and the IRS comes into play with basically, I don't think they're just gonna let them off the hook. I think they're gonna be responsible to pay these funds back eventually. So I don't want us to look at it as a big loss and, like we're gonna have to have a large sum of money right now. Eventually, what has been taken is gonna be put back.
Yeah, so the other thing is, it failed on several points. The county failed because it didn't get a land use restricted agreement. The nonprofits failed because they failed to do their promises that they didn't keep. And there's been no consequences, either from the county or from the government that oversees the nonprofit. So hopefully that will change. So that's what I do. I do want to touch on the sewer, if you don't mind.
Mm-hmm.
So, 3.5 years ago, we earmarked $5 million for sewer. By the way, I still don't have sewer, right? And I got it in the middle of my road. Oh, you want to hook up? It's $25,000. That's how crazy they are. So Mike Ron came in and said, been 3.5 years. We ain't got a shovel in the ground. Now the cost has gone up to 10 or 12 million. Forget about it. We're going to start a new program, Light Up Manatee. So he took that $5 million, put it in a Light Up Manatee, lit up Manatee, but guess where he didn't light up?
Tallevast.
I go down this road And I wrote him a letter. I said, let me get this straight. We got Amazon, we got a double yellow stripe road, traffic, and you didn't give them one street light?
Right.
Not one? If anything, if you're gonna rob Peter to pay Paul, make sure Paul gets some street lights.
Right.
You guys
Exactly.
didn't even get that, right? You didn't even get that, so, and my response was, don't make your problem my problem.
Right.
Somebody thought they could do it for $5 million when it first started. You sat on it for 3 years because Tallevast was not a priority,
Exactly.
right? So now you go find the funds to make up the difference.
To make it up.
So you make it up. I don't care if you gotta go to utilities or general funds, but you need to get the ball rolling on that again. So again, you guys been left in the dust by my opponent. He could have done things differently. I would have done things differently. And when elected, I'll make sure that the sewer is gonna get back in here. Maybe not on my road, but you'll get it here because, you know, it's just on the other side of the tracks,
It should have been taken care of.
right? Shouldn't have
I
taken
mean,
care
you
of.
got this, you should have just kept going,
Right.
the whole community, because it only goes so far, there's
Right.
only so
You don't
many
think
houses,
Amazon's tied into the sewer?
you know?
Right?
They gotta
Come on now, you don't think the airport's tied in? But in between, where you got all the raceways and room to do it anyways, you got screwed out of that deal? That's not right. Any other questions for me?
Well, I know one thing, like you say, getting online, initiating, getting this paper, a lot of people around here probably aren't really computer literate to do that, so Deb, you may have to step your game up a lot more to help
Well,
people
no,
out,
I have all the paperwork
you know,
to
you
get
may have to
started with the
disperse
investigation for the
whatever
focus.
he's talking about.
Yeah, what
you
he's
know.
talking about was something a little bit more lengthy for the
Yeah.
community center, but I'm sure if we all come together and let's get Mr. Glen in the office, he's gonna potentially help us open all these doors to maybe we can skip a few
But
steps.
we need that paperwork, what he's talking about, to get in there, cause we've gotta be
Oh, right.
He's talking about the Republican.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we've
We'll
got
talk
to-
about that after.
we've
We'll
got
talk
to
about
run
that
to get him
afterwards.
on the
Yeah,
back,
we'll talk about that
you know.
afterwards. But
So-
and,
To get that paperwork done, to
Right.
get him
oh,
there.
got you.
We need, you know, cause you know,
We'll
like,
get a little deep if we need to
yeah,
have
I'm speaking
another.
from
Yeah,
myself,
if we
when I
need to
say
have another
computer
meeting
illiterate, you know.
before then, before
Yeah.
the 18th, to let everybody know exactly what to
And
do.
I left copies of
Yeah,
how to
he'll
do
be
that.
back. He's
Yeah.
more than willing to come out and help us, even on a personal level. I'm
Right.
sure he'll meet with you and
I
walk
live
you
5
through the
minutes away.
process.
Cause
Just
Yeah.
on the other
if
He's
a
side.
right
small
up the street.
community like this
Right.
can get him there,
Yeah,
then that's making noise.
Exactly.
They'll see, oh,
exactly.
they don't woke up now.
I really believe
Yeah.
that's. I
They've
really
been
believe
dormant
he's what
all
we
these
need.
years
Right.
now. Oh, they making noise
Right.
out there.
Right.
If you've
You
ever
know.
seen Mr. G, he do not play when he go down there to the county people. So he's really honest and he speaks
Gotta
just
call
like
him
me,
out.
right? You know, he calls about, so he's not afraid. And you guys, he has cards to give you. So make sure y'all reach out,
I got
text
signs
him,
in the back as
and
well.
signs, take a sign, please. But I just wanted to remind everybody, you know, we're not interested in internal politics. We are interested in the Tallevast Community Center functioning exactly how it was intended to function back to us. So he has a strong tie to the community center. And when I went down to the county, he stopped me on my way out and he told me, don't stop fighting.
That was 9 years ago.
Yeah, 9 years ago. That's before we even met again, he told me not to stop fighting. I'm like, I remember you from the county. So it's just so happened that we ran into each other again, and I'm so happy that he is here to help us. So make sure y'all take the cards and reach out to Mr. Glen with any other questions.
If you have any other questions, I've got Junior Ed Bailey here's my
Right.
you can talk to him. He's going to be my new
Right, that's my little helper.
I do want to bring up Ed Bailey for a minute. if you can.
Okay, yeah, let's bring up Mr. Ed. God, he's 22 years old. Let's bring that young man up. Clap. 22 years old.
22.
And he is running for the commissioner of my district out in Rabonia.
And
Oh,
I'm 74, so we got 52 years of knowledge between us.
So thank you all for having me, and I just want to say just a quick plug on Glen. It is very important that you guys do get that paperwork in, because what they did was shut your vote down. That is exactly what they did. They said pretty much, we're going to decide this election for you already in August, and your voice does not matter. So in order to help Glen and actually get people like him, like myself, who actually care about the community, I was born and raised right here in Manatee County. I went to Manatee Elementary. I was raised, I don't know if you guys know, Avondale or Treesdale.
Yeah.
That's where I grew up.
Avondale.
That's right. It was Avondale, it was Treesdale, it was the best of Trees. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I can say, and you understand this, District 2 has been overlooked for a very long time. We have not had, in my opinion, a proper leader for as long as I can remember. When you go back to the last 4 years of what we've gone through, it's been nothing but overdevelopment and overlooking our district. Our commissioner spent a lot of time in Districts 1 and Districts 5 doing what the developers want her to do, but has not spent enough time in District 2. But now that it's an election year, now you see all these initiatives that she wants to bring up. Out of her entire term, she has spent $225,000 in the general fund to do things for District 2. All of that money happened this year. 2023, you did nothing. 2024, you did nothing. 2025, you did nothing. Now that I'm running, I motivated her to start doing some things. Enough is enough. Having people like myself, like Glen, helping Dr. McCain, who's just been a great guy. I worked for him a little over a year. I was his aide, so that's what Glen talks about when he says he's his aide here. I was his aide, and I learned a lot about the county that I did not know. And one of the things that I did learn is that a commissioner is only as good as the person that is holding the office. And it is a simple thing to do your job as commissioner. Your job is to listen to the people. Right. Tallevast, from what I'm hearing, this is just terrible information.
Yeah, travesty.
You guys have not had a commissioner listening to you at all.
Yeah, that's right.
District 2, where I'm from, where you are from, we have not had a commissioner listening to us. This is our chance to tell them, if you don't want to listen, we'll force you to listen. And that's why I'm running, to try and make my community better. That's why Glen is running, to make his community better. So if you have any questions, my card is also right. I'll be happy to talk to you and get with you. Again, my name's Ed Bailey. And if you know anybody in the area, I'm going through the same thing.
Okay, we got you.
This is an election that will be decided in August. Now his election will definitely be decided in August. I will have a general election opponent after this, but the way that they drew the districts up in 2021, it is now a Republican-leaning district. So the Republican nominee of this race will be 9 times out of 10 the person who wins the general election. I always say this: you may not have to agree with everything that I say or everything that the party stands for, but what you do understand, or I want you guys to know, is that my heart is in the right place for this area. And when it comes to the local level of politics, it really doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat. It's who can fix that pothole in my street.
Right.
It's who can help make sure that one of my big platforms is I want to make sure we continue to have generational families here in Manatee County. Because a lot of you guys may have kids who are much older who do not live here anymore.
Correct.
A lot of people are, and a lot of my friends went to college and then left, never came back. Because there's nothing to keep them here. There's nothing it's affordable.
Exactly.
There's no jobs here. All of these things, we are losing a generation of leaders here in Manatee County. That is what I am trying to prevent, and that is what I'm trying to help out and make sure that people like myself who were born and raised here can continue to thrive and have families here. So if there's anything that you guys will need, one thing I can guarantee you is if I get on that board, whatever Glen needs for his district, Glen is going to get a yes vote from me.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And I can definitely guarantee that.
I just want to bring up one more thing. So we have 2 commissioners, George Cruz and Tal Sadiq. They're going to be there for 2 more years, right? So they have 2 votes against you guys. If we don't get in and take the 2 incumbents out, they're going to have their 4 votes, and it won't matter who wins the other races. Because right now, they've got the majority of the vote, and nothing will change for the next 4 years. If we don't get Amanda Beller and Mike Ron out, nothing will matter, because they'll have the 4 votes.
And if you don't believe us, they donate to my opponent too. I've never seen George Cruz, Tal Sadiq, Mike Ron have all donated to my opponent. They're looking out for each other.
Yeah.
Right?
So we have to look out for each other.
Yes, sir.
We have to be the ones to make sure you guys can try and play these little games, play this politics all you want. At the end of the day, it is our votes that count.
Right.
So we have to utilize this right that we have to get this done. So if you got any questions, again, I'll be here. I'll answer some questions. I'll stick around. But we have to make sure, especially here in District 4 in the Tallevast area, that we get Glen Gibellina on that county commission. So thank you very much.
Are you are going to be able to go head to head with them? Because for as long as I can remember, across the highway there, that airport has been trying to take Tallevast for years.
Mhm.
So they got
They
people,
want to expand, right?
they out there, they want this here.
Oh, yeah.
They want the expansion,
That's
you
what
know.
they're building around.
So that's a
Yeah,
big
they're
problem
building
right
around.
there itself.
Does anyone know what's happening, or paying attention to what's happening with USF? If you don't mind me speaking about that with USF and New College?
Yeah.
Have anyone heard about that?
Yeah.
So if you haven't, New College of Florida was overtaken by Governor DeSantis, and he appointed a lot of
Yes.
his friends over there, and they're the ones that, you know, kind of changed that area over there. Now, what I'm assuming is as a reward for it, they are giving USF, Sarasota, Manatee, where I attend, they're giving that land to New College of
The whole
Florida.
campus,
All of it.
including the dorms.
If you look at the finances of New College, it has not gotten better since this takeover. What I'm predicting what they will do is, in 2 to 3 years, maybe 5, that college is not going to exist. Who is going to be the one to overtake that land then? The airport. It is a long play that they are trying to do. If
Yes.
you look at it, it's what they are trying. The airport, like you said, wants to expand.
Yes.
Any inch that we can give them, they are going to take. Unfortunately, the county wasn't involved in the USF takeover. But as far as this land here, the county will be directly involved.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get the right people in office who are willing to stand up and fight to say enough is enough and you're not going to do this. So that's why we need Glen Gibellina in that office.
Right.
Well, let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get
Okay,
it.
guys. Our the next steps that we have, I have printed off the paperwork so we can get the IRS and the Attorney General involved. I have also provided stamped envelopes to put these letters in the mail to make this process as easy as possible for everyone here. So our next step of business will be to fill out these paperworks that I have out here and make sure we get with Mr. Glen to get that paperwork trail started. And let's unite and support each other. And if there's nothing else or anybody else have anything else to say before we close out?
Well, I would strongly suggest whatever that letter is, email it to every commissioner and administrator and the county attorney.
Okay, so they all know.
Right.
Right.
All 6 commissioners, the attorney and administrator.
Okay,
Everything you do, they should be copied on,
okay, gotcha.
right? So and I would show up at some meetings, right? You got one
Yeah,
on
we
Tuesday.
gotta get our communities
One
in the
coming up
bag,
on
yeah.
Tuesday, it's gonna be the last one for 5 years.
Right, and we gotta hold these
But Deb, all I need from you is the paperwork.
Yeah, I got all the paperwork.
I got my
and,
John Hancock ready.
Right.
And
And I
let's do
provided
this.
everybody with the Tallevast transparency checklist, so you guys can just read through it and ask yourself, has Focus been doing this in the community? Because I don't want people to think that I have like a personal vendetta out against these people.
oh, you do though, they say.
I grew up with these
You
people,
know.
and I'm disappointed
Right.
in their behavior. You
Simple
know,
as that.
and if y'all was at if y'all was at the last meeting, I was verbally attacked by somebody at the Focus thing. So Stephen Ward verbally attacked me at Mount Tabor Church in 2023. So I do have a little bit, just a little bit, but my main goal is to get our funds. We have people, Tallevast has a 38% risk of cancer. You know what I'm saying? These funds
Is
can
it that low?
right. These funds can have been used for educational purposes, for helping families get through this tough time, teaching us what to eat and how can we maneuver this diagnosis. And y'all know absolutely nothing has been done.
Yep.
Nothing. You know, you seen people out in the community taking surveys. Have they held any community meetings or anything that you know of? So we know what's going on, and now we just want to get the attention of the IRS and the Attorney General to help start a formal investigation. Okay. All right. That concludes everything. Yep.
I'm like Columbo, one more thing.
Okay. What's up? What's the G?
So there was legislation passed last year called Yes in God's Backyard. How many people know about it?
Haven't
Okay.
heard of it.
Wonderful opportunity. So I have, for the last 5 years, I've been going around all these churches. I've put in gardens, rainwater harvesting systems, taught classes at them. I was a member of Ward Temple for 3 years. So a lot of times church has land. If you look at Ward Temple, they got a beautiful empty lot there. Every church now has an opportunity to build either a house for the pastor or a small apartment complex for their parishioners, and they don't have to go through all the headaches of zoning. They got to do the setbacks, but all that normal procedure to pull a permit to put a house that's not zoned for a house, because religious organizations are zoned differently, has been bypassed thanks to Tallahassee, and saying churches can help with the housing crisis. So they're gonna make it very easy for them. And once I'm in office, I'm gonna have a task force and I'll meet the pastors and say, okay, what do we got here? Well, not much land, but we can put up a couple of 1 or 2 bedroom houses either for the pastor or, the maintenance guy, whoever wants to live out here, right? And we're gonna find the funding for you, we're gonna find you a good contractor, and we're gonna get the ball rolling. So again, there's no taxes on that property for that house. So it's a win-win for everybody. I think every church should have something to give back to the community.
Right.
Either in a small apartment complex or even one house, right? That would make a difference. Because I know pastors that drive over the bridge to teach over here, right? So they gotta travel, but if they could have a place to live where they work, that would be a big place. So, yes.
Years ago, I can remember when, this is what I'm talking about way years ago. Some of these in here probably don't even know nothing about this here. But pastors used to come to drive out of town. They used to come to town on a Saturday.
Right.
And my grandfather's house was right over here.
Right.
And they used to stay over at his house.
Right.
Versus, getting up and going, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
The guest house.
Yeah, they used to do that.
Right.
Many years ago, people did that. They fed the pastor, made sure he ate and stuff and all.
Listen, I went to Catholic grade school. They had dormitories for the nuns and the pastors and the teachers. I mean, every church in Chicago.
That might
had
be,
housing.
right. That might be something Bryan Chapel might be interested in. I know they've been having a building fund, and so that would just make the building fund much more easier to accomplish with not necessarily having a big banquet type of hall, but something that can accommodate a lot of people in a space. So that could be something beneficial to the church as well.
And the other thing I'm big on, and I've been doing this for 10 years, are infill lots. You get these developers in here, they want to put 200 or 300 apartments there, and, one big, thank you, ma'am, we're done. Every marginalized lot I see, every house that's boarded up, I see opportunity to build back up that community. There is now, we've just upped our down payment assistance program. $75,000. We can give you $75,000 to build a house, and if you live there for 30 years, you don't have to pay it back. So you can put up, a $200,000 house, and your mortgage is at $125,000. That's livable to me, right?
Yeah.
Your mortgage be $600-700. You can afford that,
Right.
with that $75,000 kick.
Right.
So I see a lot of houses. There's a corner house that's been derelict for how many years? I see they just tore it down. Every vacant lot has an opportunity. And I'll tell you why. Because you're going to save $40,000 right off the bat in impact fees. You know why? Because at one time there's water, sewer, maybe not sewer, but septic, right, and electric. Those are huge impacts on a new building, right? Plus you have an $8,000 impact fee for the school board. Well, that's been paid once, right? You can't double dip. So every lot that had a residential house on it, all those fees are waived, which even brings the price of that house down.
Okay.
So you're saving $25,000 in impact fees, you're getting $75,000 down. Now we can make the numbers work. And when you see new houses in an area, it just brings up the rest of the community.
Right.
Because I guarantee I could knock down any street here, knock on the door and say, "So if they get a lot there, if I built a house there, would you know anybody?" "Oh yeah, I want to bring my children back." Or "Yeah, my uncle wants to move down here. I got a neighbor that needs a house." I am telling you, you could build your own community within your community, and that's what I'm all about.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Glen. Thank you everybody for coming out. Can you come up here and grab some of the paperwork if you need any help filling it out? I'll be here to help everyone.
So you got what we need to get.
Not Glen.
That's what I'm worried.
Okay.
That's what my main
Okay,
concern
we're gonna
is
give you
right
Glen.
now.
Yeah, we're gonna give you
That's
Glen card.
foremost and
But for
first right
everything
now
else,
That's right.
is the paperwork for him.
That's right.
yeah, Glen
Yeah,
is very
that's
important too, and
what
this
I
is
want.
very important. important too.
No.
So, y'all can make your way up here. And any questions or concerns, please feel free.
Another thing you do, sir, if you go to the supervisor elections office, that's right where the sheriff's office is, right by the home hall. Yeah, if you go there, you can do it in person. Oh, really? You can do it in person. Okay. Yeah, so you can just tell them that you want to change your voter registration. Right, you can do it in person. Give you the
Switching it Republican for
it's a short period. The deadline to do it is July 20th.
okay.
Right.